Rams. Welcome, everybody. It's the TD Report. David Combs here from the studio in Gaithersburg. TK, what's going on, man?
Rams, Kennedy.
Tony Rams Kennedy. You make your middle name Rams now, huh? You changing it? All right. Cody Bennett in the house.
How y'all doing, everybody?
On the ones and twos. Hey, man, just the aftermath of the week. The first thing we got to talk about, when we last did the show, we did the show from Maryland Live, and it was a great scene there. Thanks to the people at Maryland Live. There was a Wizards game going on just over our shoulder. And when we when we left the air, the Wizards were up by 35 points, and it was halftime. I woke up to a text from Tony, "Hey, Dave, they lost." I just clicked it, went back to sleep. By the time I woke up at 6 a.m. to get ready to take my son to school, Wizards Twitter had blown up. They're calling for everybody to be out of there. Wes Unseld, gotta go. Tommy Shepard, gotta go. Fire Ted Leonsis, he gotta go too.
That's a little extra too.
At this point, the Wizards need to create a diversion just to get them jokers out the building. Tony, what happened?
Man.
I blame COVID.
Hey, you can't blame COVID on this one, dog.
Unsaid.
Hey man, the Clippers got a good team, but I think it's just that's the coach said they were playing too many people in the rotation, which they probably were. And I mean, think about it. Get up in basketball by 35 points is like,
bruh,
that to being up in football by like 28 points.
Easily. That's a lot of points, dude. And what makes it worse is the team leader, Bradley Beal, had a couple of times where he could have closed the door, missed a couple of layups. He's turned the ball over a lot. A lot of fingers are pointing at him. You, Mr. Beal, it's your team. You're getting the max deal. You're trying to get a super max, but now the fans are down on the Wizards. And first part of the season, the first 13 games, the Wizards won 10, and we're looking like, hey, maybe. But listen, Tony, that's why they play all them games. It proves who's a contender and who's a pretender, right? So I just wanted to start the show off with that to just show how quickly people would think, wow, the Wizards might have something going. But then after that loss, it just changes the whole complexion of how things look, right? So let me segue into this. We're going to talk some football here. There's still a ripple effect from the end of the Bills and Kansas City game. People are still talking about it. Not just about the playoff rules. What they're talking about is how easily those offenses basically shredded each other, particularly in the fourth quarter and then obviously in the overtime. It was so easy, okay? I think Mahomes put up 170 yards of passing from the 2-minute warning through overtime. That's just unbelievable. And this wasn't a bum defense he was going against, right? Now, I'm not saying, and Cody made a good point. They're the number one defense that the Buffalo had, but they played a lot of weak teams, right? I get
11 of the 17 teams were bad offenses.
Were bad offenses. That's fine. Hey, by the way, including the WFT, didn't they bang out the WFT real quick? Okay, so
section of bad offense.
So yeah, I would say this: their coach, the defensive coordinator, is not a bum. Okay, he knows what he's doing. Could probably become a head coach and has been a head coach before. Right, Leslie Frazier has been a coach in the NFL, well, albeit for a short time. I think he was with Minnesota. I think he was a head coach there for a hot minute or something. He was a head coach for a while, right? Not a schlub defense, and Kansas City just treated them like they were JV, right? Yeah. So the question comes now, Tony: who's that next brand of innovators on defense that's going to slow down these high-powered offenses? How are you going to identify those guys? And then you factor this in with the coaching carousel going in the direction it's going. The Chicago Bears today announced that they're going to hire Green Bay. Is it Green Bay Sport? No, who's a former defensive coordinator, is getting hired as the Chicago head coach.
Nathaniel Hackett.
Why?
Oh! You said as the Chicago's head coach? I thought he was with the Colts.
The Colts DB.
Yeah,
he's a Colts defensive coordinator. You've got Justin Fields, guys. Why are we getting a defensive coach?
Nathaniel Hackett was the.
Can I explain something to you?
Please.
Hey, guys, okay. Cody and Dave, you know how we always talk about more African-American coaches need to be coached. So listen to my theory. The general manager of the Chicago Bears came from Kansas City. Okay. He came from Kansas City. By him not interviewing Bieniemy, and by him not touching anything with Bieniemy is the actual guy that you would want around them with their quarterback. It's a natural progression. The general manager is from Kansas City. He knows Kansas City. He helped hire Bieniemy and all that other stuff. Why he didn't touch Bieniemy? Because they're about to throw Andy Reid under the bus for what his son did last year. That trial is coming up. And when they throw him under the bus, they need a coach in waiting. They don't need to be going through all this because it's about to be some stuff to hit the fan. They need somebody that's already in the program to stabilize everything and make sure that they can hit the ground running in September. You can't do that when you get rid of Bieniemy. Andy Reid has to step down because of his family, because his son was on the staff and he killed someone. Where are you going to be at now?
Do you think it was a mistake for Andy Reid to let his son be on the sideline for the Super Bowl for last year?
I'm not going to get into all that, but what I do know is that the Hunts are one of the smartest families out there. And for Bieniemy not to be saying anything, it seems like a fix to me. Like they told him,
they got plans.
Just stay.
Yeah.
They can't. There's no way that what Andy Reid's son can affect him to the point where Andy Reid cannot coach anymore. I just don't see that happening. Will it be embarrassing? Will it be embarrassing for the franchise? Yes.
Well,
will they survive? It's not like if Andy Reid was driving, okay. Was Andy Reid there? I mean, that's my point. His son should pay for what he did.
Wait a minute, Dave. We're in the era right now. We just blame two presidents for their son's actions. We blame Donald Trump for his son's actions, and we blame Joe Biden for his son's actions. His son's actions do reflect a lot of stuff. And in the NFL, he hired his son. His son was working for the team, and he killed someone. Somebody got to go lay down in front of that sword.
Well, I think it's just going to be his son. I think Andy Reid is going to be obviously highly embarrassed. He's highly embarrassed by it. I don't see him losing that job over it.
You know what's going to make it easier?
What's that?
Win the Super Bowl, he can walk away.
Now that's an idea.
Walk away on
good time.
Yeah.
He can walk away. He can walk away. Bieniemy has nothing to do with it. That's not his family. Because I'm telling you, the NFL owners get funny with this, man, because they don't like family. You know, your family member killed someone.
You're right. Well, I know obviously the Irsays had problems, obviously, with their son, his drug issues. He almost lost that team, right? And he had been suspended. He had been pushed away. What did they find him with in a briefcase with like $50,000 cash or something like that? Now, he's the owner of an NFL team. Those guys have that. They have access to that kind of cash. But I don't think the NFL wants you transacting things in cash like that. You know, they wanted you to wire your money somewhere or write a check. But, you know.
So, Cody, the top 7 quarterbacks in the AFC right now.
They're all young.
I mean, yeah, all of them. Allen, Mahomes.
Herbert.
Yeah, Herbert. I mean, the list goes on, honestly.
Burrow, the young guy, the Jets, Tua.
But not Baker Mayfield.
Mahomes. So if you don't have one of those jobs,
Shout out to
Why
Uncle
the fuck
Tay Shay.
Why are you gonna leave? Why are you gonna leave Mahomes to go to any other jobs if you don't have those quarterbacks? Right now, he has Mahomes for 9 more years.
The only quarterback that's young, right, that has that type of flair to me would be a Justin Fields. That's about as close as you can get.
I like Zach Wilson a lot.
What's that?
I like Zach Wilson a lot.
Zach Wilson. Yeah. Hey, thanks, Keith. Yeah, we got Lamar. We got Lamar on there. And he said Lamar Jackson. I got Lamar.
Yeah, Zach Wilson is definitely somebody to watch out for.
Something. He showed me a little something. And
in that Tampa game, he showed a whole lot.
Yeah,
a whole lot.
The AFC drafting quarterbacks have got some really great guys, and I don't like the word generational because that gets thrown around a lot. But you remember all them quarterbacks? What was that draft with all them quarterbacks, Tony? The '83 draft.
Kelly, 83 draft, and then you had the 04 draft.
That a bunch of QBs.
Yeah, with a bunch. But listen, dude, one of the biggest moves that happened this week was the head coach of Denver, the offensive coordinator for Green Bay, the one that was keeping the peace with Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
It's twisted. Aaron Rodgers got a bunch of young talent in Denver, and they have 2 good tight ends. They have 3 good receivers. They have an all-pro running back, and they got a decent offensive line. Their defense is a top defense. If Aaron Rodgers go to Denver, he makes that division competitive right away.
Yeah, they're going to be competitive in a division that's one of the most competitive in the entire league. You know, that AFC West. If Denver ever got their head out of their butt, you know, you can see a situation where you're basically got 4 teams fighting for 3 playoff spots out of the division.
Actually, those 4 teams can actually make the playoffs.
They could all make the playoffs, right?
Playoffs, and the other 3 division winners are the 6, 7, and 8 or whatever. So there's only 4 teams from one division can make. So and there's 3 other divisions: division champ, division champ, division champ.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So those they could conceivably, if they don't cannibalize, here's the issue, Tony, if they don't cannibalize each other, right? And that's always the hard thing.
They only play 6 games. Technically, they play 11 games against everyone else. So if everybody went 3-3 in the division, 7-4 outside the division, that's 10 wins. 10, 11 wins get you in the playoffs now.
Yeah, pretty much. I think it's a shit. I think that's the number. I think that's the number.
You had some good divisions where 10, 11 wins might have got you a wild card.
We've seen that many times with the NFC East, where the division champ would be 12-4, 11-5 in the old paradigm, and then you'd see teams miss the playoffs at 10-6. Happened a lot.
Yeah,
9-7 in the NFC East. Now it can win the division, but in the old days, 9-7, you out.
Yeah, you ain't there.
Philly went 9-8 this year and didn't win no division. Listen, man, you better listen. That division, if Aaron Rodgers come, it's gonna be crazy.
To get him out of Green Bay, do you have to make the deal to get Davante Adams to come with him?
No,
you don't need him.
You won't need him. So
they got Hamlin.
Y'all saw the stat that I shared the other day in the chat. Gabriel Davis's first 2 years has better numbers than Davante Adams' first 2 years in the league.
Yeah, he did.
So I mean, that guy is. I mean, he's a great wide receiver. Don't get me wrong, and it'd be awesome to have him, but he is slightly interchangeable. You know, you can go somewhere with a good wide receiving core and have more than just a
wide receiver core.
Yeah.
They got a good wide receiver. Matter of fact, their wide receiver core is as good as the one in Green Bay.
Okay.
Tight ends in, and you add the all-pro running back in, they're good.
Who are you talking about? Denver, yeah.
So
and Hamlin? Oh, yeah, they're good, dude.
So you like the idea of Aaron Rodgers going to Denver?
because that's his offensive coordinator.
Do they become Super Bowl contenders the minute he gets there?
I won't say contenders, but they're a playoff team. Once you're a
Absolutely.
They're a
playoff
playoff
team,
team.
once you're a
Absolutely.
playoff team, I mean, everything's after watching the playoffs. Once you're a playoff team, everything, hey man, is all up in the air.
Okay.
All
I'm
you
gonna be-
can ever ask for.
I'm going to be interested to see how that works out. Aaron Rodgers has said he's going to sit down, with management, with ownership, and talk about the future and everything. I would imagine there's going to be a couple of spreadsheets handed out. They're going to explain, hey, listen, this is where we're at. This is funny. Keith Kelly, hey, what's up, buddy? Aaron Rodgers is going to Houston for Deshaun Watson. Come on, man.
Man, he ain't never going no.
Come on, man.
Houston, no.
He ain't
Houston
going to
won't
no
do it.
Houston, man.
And Deshaun, I think, is going to Washington.
Oh, wow. That changes
Pull that
everything.
off.
They're gonna
If
put
Washington pulls that off,
for a quarterback in Washington.
if Washington pulls that off, they're going to win the division.
Here's the thing.
They will win the division.
If Washington don't get a quarterback this year,
It's over.
Well, yeah, for Ron Rivera, yeah.
over for Rivera, and it's going to take a while for them to recover.
As far
This
as
is
that,
their biggest offseason.
yeah, they as far as anyone wanting to come here or having any type of attractiveness to the franchise right now to want to come here as a free agent, this is the year you got to
This is the year.
You got to get the quarterback.
with the
Because they got so
name
much cap
change,
space.
cap space, the name change coming into a new era, in the slightest bit of hype that there was from last year that's carried over to now, and all that I think that anyone really thinks we need is just a quarterback. I mean, that's the biggest thing. Yeah, we need another wide receiver. Yeah, we would like to have a safety, but a better linebacker wouldn't be bad. But those are things that you can fill over time. Our biggest need is a quarterback.
You got to draft him. You're
Linebacker.
going to have to draft him.
You
need
just
to
drafted our first round linebacker, and
Yeah.
you got Cole Holcomb.
He's
I'm just
an
talking about
outside,
someone-
he's an
he needs
outside
to-
linebacker. They need a middle linebacker.
Yeah, they need somebody who's on the inside who
Holcomb
is
is the best, one of the best middle linebackers out there.
absolutely, but we still need somebody who is more of a plug and play guy. That's not someone who needs to develop.
Keith Kelly says the Richmond Red Hogs is going to be the name. That's funny.
Keep thinking they moving to Richmond. They would never.
They ain't moving to
NFL would
Richmond.
never.
They already passed up the votes that went in back in 2 weeks ago in Virginia, and
Yeah.
that wasn't anywhere on the ballots or anything like that. And so the next
Yeah.
time,
Just on the ballot because this is one of our last shows before they call the names. I mean,
yeah,
it's one of the
the next time that they can actually apply for it to be on there is 2023.
Right.
names that
Right.
you see.
Yeah. I don't
Who
I don't know. We can talk about that. We can talk about what's going on with the WFT. I mean, everybody knows it's February 2nd, 2022 is going to be the
1 week.
rebrand.
Exactly.
That'll be the national rebrand. Then there's going to be a kind of a pep rally that's going to be at FedEx here in the DC area. That's going to be February.
On the 4th.
That's going to be on the 4th.
Yeah, the
And in
4th.
between there's going to be a congressional hearing on the activities that went on in the owners' emails and the treatment of female
That's the
employees. That'll be on the 3rd.
Yeah.
So
Just
A
before
lot
Congress
going on.
call a hearing.
yeah, they called a
Maybe
hearing. But
the
here's
day
the thing,
before.
Tony. Here's the thing, Tony. This is a nothing burger. Okay, nobody is going to be sworn in. It's not sworn testimony. It's not going to be like when Rafael Palmeiro and Roger Clemens went before Congress. Okay, so that's funny. Keith Kelly says 1 day after Groundhog Day is Red Hog Day. That's good. That's good. Congress right now needs to be worried about other stuff than what's going on with Dan Snyder. The NFL did a report that was not written on the sexual harassment. Nothing's happened. The team is not going to be taken away from Dan Snyder. That's proven.
Nothing's going to happen.
Nothing's going to happen. So anything that's going on right now is just noise. Okay. So I don't give that any credence. I don't think anything's going on from that standpoint. I just think, unfortunately, it's there to discredit Dan Snyder and make him look bad. And by the way, making Dan Snyder look bad is not that difficult. Okay. I just don't think you need to use Congress to do it. That's just, a lot of people are claiming it's Bruce Allen behind the scenes making this happen. And look, all of this stuff that went down with the WFT, with the sexual harassment, those things happened many years ago. And then were just now brought to light with the civil lawsuits, or the threats of the civil lawsuits brought by the female employees that had their nude pictures taken, cheerleaders asked to do nude photo shoots on the calendar shoot, just some very inappropriate behavior by Dan Snyder and his staff. Fine. A lot of those people have been pushed out of the building, have been fired, or just outright released from the program, and guys like Jason Wright have been brought in. There's been a big push in the WFT front office for more diversity, for more women, for more African Americans. They've got an African American female running backs coach. They've got Julie Donaldson.
What about the DEA drug raid they had?
Tony, why are you bringing up old stuff?
That was you talking about the trainer?
The trainer.
Yeah.
That was a
I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen with that. And frankly, Tony, I think I know what happened. Probably some pills went missing, and that's what's going to matter. Yeah, nothing is going to happen. This is a nothing burger, okay?
Him up from Carolina. He going to bring that trash up here like that.
Well, Ron Rivera has to take some of the heat. Some of these hires are on his recommendation and part of his package. You probably wouldn't come here unless, hey, listen, I won't take this job unless I'm going to bring this particular guy, this guy with me. Okay. Most owners are going to say, all right, they're cool. If they pass muster with our front office, protocols, then fine, we don't care, right? Until they screw up. And this is the situation. With the trainer, I understand that you don't see this very often. I think the last time something like this happened, a team was investigated, was the New Orleans Saints. Which brings us to
Bounty.
For Bountygate, but then it was a drug thing. There were some issues in the trainer's office or the trainer's room with some Schedule I drugs being missing. Pain meds had gone missing. So the NFL is very, very sensitive to it because anytime there's an abuse of pain meds, Keith Kelly says he was writing prescriptions. So yeah, he took his. That's what I mean, Keith. There were pills missing. Either pills missing from Redskins facilities, and they also raided his house. So they raided his house, probably looking for his prescription pad. If he's a doctor and he wrote a script, the amount of scripts that you write on your pad have to match what comes out of that cabinet. And if that cabinet has too many pills or not enough pills, you have a problem. Now, if he was just writing scripts and just giving them out to Joe Schmo or friends of his, and they went and filled those scripts, anytime your prescription pad goes out and you write a script and you take it to this pharmacy or that pharmacy, it's all kept in a database. So it keeps one doctor from writing 1 million scripts and not getting, hey man, well, what are you doing? So Keith brings up a great point. Just keeping an eye on the people that work for you and what they're doing. Are they doing what they're supposed to be doing? If Ron Rivera was lax in that, it would be bared out by a report, internal report that the WFT would do. And I don't know. I don't know how much a head coach sees of how many scripts his guy is writing.
He didn't have anything to do with it.
I don't think that's more of a general manager issue. That's a general manager issue. The coach doesn't have anything to do with that. The GM does.
Yeah.
Whether Ron Rivera is the GM in name only, that's up to Marty Herney and Martin Mayhew. That's their problem. That's what a general manager does. Or possibly, not even a team president. Jason Wright wouldn't touch that because Jason Wright doesn't touch anything football related.
Mm-mm.
Right? So he doesn't, Tony, Jason Wright does not touch anything that touches the field. All he does is anything else at Redskins Park that doesn't have anything to do with football ops, right? So let's talk about the Sean Payton retirement. Sean Payton stepping down as Saints head coach. He basically is like a frat boy that ran up a big bar tab and then walked out. The Saints are tapped out on their salary cap. They're $60 million over. Okay. Their quarterback is the only quarterback on the roster is Jameis Winston, because I don't count Taysom Hill as a quarterback.
Jameis Winston is not Taysom Hill.
Taysom Hill is not a quarterback to me. He's a slash. He's the only quarterback that they have under contract. Because I think when do NFL contracts end, Cody? They're over in when are they over? Like right after the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's after the Super Bowl. It's over.
So when the Super Bowl goes 000, Jameis Winston officially is no longer a New Orleans Saint until he re-signs with them.
And
that's where he signs.
I'm sure they'll re-sign him to at least a 1 year.
It's not only going to be a 1 year deal. It's going to have a good amount of money to it. They're going to have to make it worth his while because they need him.
And that's what I was going to say. I do believe he's unrestricted, though, so someone else can offer him and he can make his pick.
Yep. And listen, would it shock me if the WFT took a shot at him? No, wouldn't shock me at all. I don't think I don't think they should kick the can down the road, but I do think that if they don't get one of these, the WFT don't want to be caught without a chair when the music stops. They don't want to draw the process out so long. They draw the process out too long, Tony, and they wait on a guy like a Deshaun Watson to get the deal done. If they wait too late, they could decide, hey, we're going to go off in this other direction and go to plan B. You go to plan B too late, then you're saying you're getting your second, third, or fourth cut of quarterback when you could have had a guy like Cody said right after the Super Bowl.
I think they're going directly towards the top guys.
All in.
And I believe that is the mentality right now. I don't believe that it's as spoken, but from what I get out of these press conferences and stuff that I've heard and read is they're going to make a very, very strong push for the top guys and probably all of them and see who
Good.
wins.
Good. It'll be exciting. No,
Yeah.
That's exciting to me.
Yeah, March 16th is going to be a great, exciting day for the NFL.
Let me ask you something. If they're going to go after Deshaun Watson, why didn't they go after him last year?
I
Too
think
much problems. He had too many problems.
Too some cloudiness.
Problems that he got last year and this year.
Well,
No, those women
they
had to
did
go.
make an offer. I think they did speak to
Those-
him,
But the women had not settled yet last year. They've
Right.
settled. Most of those cases, Tony, I think it was 22 women. I think 18 or 19 of them have already signed to there won't be criminal charges.
Yeah, there's like 4 or 5 that
They took a settlement.
yeah. But either way,
Time in the NFL.
the situation has cooled down. They've realized more of the need of a quarterback than what they did last year when they had someone that they just brought in on a 1-year deal and a backup they had just signed to a 2-year deal. So what they had offered was probably not what they would offer now because of the need that they had for a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, at this point, they'd break the bank for him. Last year, they wouldn't. They just brought somebody in for 1 year and just signed a backup to a 2-year deal. They weren't going to break the bank for a third QB to bring in.
Nope.
But at this point, you got a free your 1-year deal guy's gone up out of there. You got 1 year left on your starting quarterback who isn't obviously starting caliber. Now is where you make a decision. I'd send a first, a second, and Daron Payne up out of there tonight and get Deshaun on a plane here tomorrow.
Jimmy G.
Houston has been Jimmy G.
No.
Houston has been, honestly, and I'll say this also, Cody.
You're going to see Sunday why we don't want Jimmy G.
I think, oh, by the way, in the playoffs, Jimmy Garoppolo has thrown how many touchdown passes? Anyone? Tony is correct. He's thrown 0 in 2 playoff games. 0 touchdowns.
Yeah.
That's not good, man.
I've never been a fan of the kid.
He's limited. He's to me,
he's a perpetual middle of the pack QB. He'll be mid-tier forever.
That was some of those throws he was making was painful. Just watching them. I'm thinking of the throw. Listen, everyone's still talking about the throw that he missed in the Super Bowl 2 years ago. Okay. That was the game. That was the game winner.
I don't know how you do that, honestly.
Of it winning the Super Bowl and losing the Super Bowl.
Literally.
When all things are equal, Patrick Mahomes made 2 of the best throws. Jimmy G made 2 of the worst throws.
He sure did, buddy. That was you got to put the football on him. That cat, this guy was open. He wasn't just open, y'all. He was open, right?
So he may be able to get a rematch.
They got to get past the Rams first.
We'll make those picks. We got to make those picks tonight.
And that's a great segue, Tony. Got about half of the show left, right? So let's talk about what our picks are for the last 3 games of the year. We're going to pick all 3. You pick the conference championships, and you pick the Super Bowl. Now, do we want to pick the Super Bowl now?
We already did our repick, so I'm just letting those Super Bowl picks there ride, and then we'll wait till next week to actually make the pick for who's there.
So we're going to make the pick for conference championships, right?
Yep.
Let's go NFC first. Put Tony down for the LA Rams.
Yep, he's
You're
taking
not the home team.
All right.
I told y'all.
What's the number on the Rams game against the 49ers? 49ers will not be favored in this game. It should be the Rams.
Yeah, the Rams are favored. I believe it is, and I just had these up. Well, give me just a second here. Here we go. San Fran is – sorry, I'm in the over-unders. It's actually 3.5 right now. So
Rams by 3.5.
San Fran is plus 3.5. Yep.
All right. I think they can cover that. They might be able to cover that.
I mean, I know.
You think the Rams beat that? Do the Rams beat that number, Tony? Do the Rams cover 3.5?
Let me give you a number. You just said Jimmy G has thrown how many touchdowns in the playoffs?
Goose egg.
The last 6 quarters, the Rams have only 4 field goals. They scored that 1 touchdown when Debo scored early 3rd quarter against Dallas. The rest of that 3rd quarter, 4th quarter against Dallas, and the entire game against Green Bay, they did absolutely nothing on offense.
On offense.
Dave, did you go Rams?
Unfortunately, I picked Green Bay, remember?
No, I mean for this game.
I'll go with the Rams on this one.
Okay.
I'll go Rams here.
And right now, currently, you're only down by 5 points. It's 25-25. So
perfect.
Me and you got 25, and he's got 20. So he's only down by 5 points.
I would like to see Matt Stafford start a Super Bowl.
Yeah, and Super Bowl picks are worth 10 points. So
correct.
That guy deserves. Wait a minute, because we still going off the original because my Super Bowl pick is still alive.
Right.
If I make it, if my team make it, I get a little extra points, don't I?
Yeah, you'll get 15 because it was your original.
Right. Yeah.
But Rams might not win this week. We may not lose in 5 on this one.
All the 49ers fans I've heard have said that they own the Rams. So
they've beat them both times this year.
Man, come on. Do you realize the shitstorm it would be if the 49ers made the Super Bowl?
Haven't they beat them the past like 6 times?
Something like that. They say they own them.
Yeah.
That's going to be interesting. I mean, listen, that's an interesting game to me. So, not just because of the stakes, but, division. You know what I mean?
The over on that game is 46.
I would take the over.
Take the under.
You were taking the under?
Take the under, absolutely.
Oh, that's right, because the 49ers don't score much. Okay.
I'm taking the under all day.
You're taking the under? Okay.
I'm taking the Rams with minus 3.5 because I got them winning by a touchdown or more. Or 2 field goals or more. I mean, regardless, I got them winning by more than that. That's them in that game. Take the Rams on the line. Take the under 46. And if you're doing money line, I kind of would like to stay away from that game, but betting on the LA Rams on the line ain't gonna do much for you.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Yeah.
So does the NFL put the fix in because of the hotels, Tony? Does the NFL put the fix in? Put the kibosh on the Rams?
what I explained to everyone is that the NFL and the city of Los Angeles actually are cheering against the Rams. They make no money if the Rams make it to the Super Bowl because of the hotels and food and all that. If the home team is at home. But here's the kicker. The 1 years or the 2 years that you want the home team at home is during COVID because you're going to get less travel, you got less events, you got less everything. So the NFL, I don't know what they did. Some of the luckiest people in the history of the world. The time during COVID is the time that they may have 2 home Super Bowl things. So if you're in conspiracy theories, there's a conspiracy theory for you.
Okay. So
Good point.
Good one. Yeah. Joe Burrow made an interesting point. Joe Burrow of the Cincinnati Bengals, where he talked about how NFL stadiums weren't quite as loud as what he dealt with in the SEC. Now, Joe he's a funny guy. You know, he wasn't being braggadocious, but I get this sense that when he steps onto that field at Arrowhead, it's going to be louder than anything he's ever dealt with. Okay, just as loud as anything that he would see at Death Valley or at Ole Miss, the Swamp. I mean, the SEC is full of legendary stadiums, right? That's what the SEC is all about, right? But I just don't think he is going to be ready for the big stage. I think it will show. I think they will be nervous. I think they could fall behind early by as much as 21 points.
So you're taking C.
I got to take Kansas City on this one. Joe Burrow, you're my dude. You're my nephew. But I got to step away from you. Cody, what's the over-under on this one?
Plus 7.5 for the Bengals.
The Bengals will not cover that.
Yeah, that's the line. The over-under is 54.5 right now.
Do you think we can get the over on this one?
I'm taking the over, and I'm taking the Bengals.
Because the over would be something like 30 to 28 or something like that. I know it won't be that close, but you can see the way the numbers work out to get up to what, 50? Did you say 50, 54?
Yeah, 54.5. And honestly, both of these teams' passing defense is horrible. So I think it is going to be a high-scoring game. For that game right there, I'm taking the over of 54.5. I'm taking the Bengals at 7.5, and I'm taking the Bengals on the money line.
Bengals to cover. Okay.
And Bengals outright as well, money line.
Oh, well, damn.
Yeah. I'm riding with Joey B.
Cody trying to make that Vegas money, buddy. Okay.
How about you, TK?
Over under. All right, I got.
Who are you rolling with?
You know what, man? Just because I got a lead on y'all, and I'm gonna get extra points if the Rams win.
You tied with me.
Yeah, but if the Rams win, I get an extra 15 points. Remember? Original bet. You know I got the Rams this week, but that's just extra money. I got to take Cincinnati just so I can pull the whole thing out. I mean, I just got to take Cincinnati. I don't think they're going to win, but you never know, man.
I would love to see
Joey Burrow. That's my favorite quarterback in the NFL. I can't go against my man.
I would love to see a Cincinnati 49ers rematch.
Boring Super Bowls.
That would be the third time that those two franchises have met. That would be pretty cool.
They played a sorry game the first time. The second one was good. The second one was good. But no. I mean, some similarities to it. Cincinnati had to beat San Fran had to beat Dallas that year.
Yeah.
San Fran had to beat Dallas and the Giants that year. San Fran had to beat Dallas and the Giants that year, and Cincinnati had to beat Cincinnati beat Buffalo that year.
They did.
Buffalo this year. Yeah, they beat Buffalo that year, and they beat somebody else. I forget who else they beat. Yeah, I mean it's but other than that, no.
Okay.
Listen,
So you got those picks locked in, Cody?
Yes, sir. We got it down. So you got a
The
chance
pick.
here if Kansas City wins to tie back up with us.
The LA matchup.
What was that?
Kansas City versus LA is the matchup they want.
Yeah, that's what Keith said.
Because that game 3 years ago was one of the best games I've ever seen in my life.
That was a great game.
Yep. I don't know. That Bills Kansas City game might be one of the best games I've ever seen.
That was great.
That was the best game because it was win or go home.
Yep.
That game right before Thanksgiving in 2018.
Yeah.
Man, I ain't never seen no. They were. I think the final score was 54-51.
Yeah, something like that. And I like the color block uniforms. Color rush. I like those.
Yeah.
So
They was balling that night, dude.
yeah, those
They was
uniforms
balling
were
that night.
tight. Hey Tony, you're a big historical guy, man. Today is anniversary in Redskin land. They're celebrating the 30th anniversary of the 1991 Washington championship team.
Second best team in Redskin history.
Second best?
Yep.
Behind the 83 team.
83. 83.
83 Redskin team against almost any team. There's only the 93 Cowboys, the 85 Niners.
No, it'd be 85 Bears.
85 Niners. No, the 84 Niners. No, the 85 Bears couldn't have beat the 83 Redskins because the 83 Redskins could actually score and they could throw the ball.
Well, the 85, the 86 Bears lost to the Redskins, right?
But here's the thing: the 84 Bears. See, when the Bears had that thing, Joe Gibbs and them knew how to block it because they kept an extra guy in, and they could throw the ball. See, that Redskin team, most people don't realize that team could have played in any era because they could run the ball with the best of them, and then they could actually throw the ball with the best of them. That's why the 83 team will never be touched.
Mm-hmm. The 83 team didn't win a Super Bowl.
Who's the quarterback?
Win the Super Bowl. Joe Theismann, their best quarterback they ever had in their daggone franchise.
I thought 83 was the strike year that they lost to the Raiders.
82, they won the Super Bowl in 82.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. Got it. That was the game of DeMarcus Allen when Marcus Allen took that ball and went the opposite direction and went back up the middle, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. So you like the 83 Redskins better than 91.
Yeah, Art Monk. Yeah. All these guys, John Riggins. Yeah, that's a squad.
They were plus 43 in turnover margin.
Rick Walker.
So 83 then, Theismann was the league MVP that year, wasn't he?
God damn, this is a team right here. Dexter Manley, Charles Mann.
Right. Now, here's the interesting thing. The 1991 team that defense did not have Dexter Manley on it.
Russ Grimm. The what team? Darryl Green.
The 91 team, no Dexter Manley.
No. This is
about the 83 team. He pulling up the things. Look at
He's
all
pulling
the
up the
people they had
roster
on that team.
Yeah, I'm looking at the roster from 83. This is a stacked squad.
Yep.
Tony, you weren't alive yet. They lost 2 games.
Yep.
They lost to Dallas, first game of the year by 1 point.
2 points.
Had a 20-point
2
lead.
points.
They lost by 1 point. It was
33 to 31. I just saw the score.
It was 31-30. Pull it up. Pull up the thing. And they lost 48-47 near Halloween time to Green Bay, and Mosley missed the field goal at the end of the game. They should have been 16-0. They should have been 16-0 that year. They get in the playoffs. They played the Rams with Eric Dickerson, Hall of Fame left tackle Slater. They beat the Rams so bad. They beat the Rams 51-7. They come the next week, going into the fourth quarter, they were up on the San Francisco 49ers with Joe Montana. They was up 21-0. Joe Montana and them scored 3 touchdowns. Redskins went down and kicked the field goal to win the game. they go to the Super Bowl. But people do not give that team credit because they end up losing to the Raiders. They would have never lost to the Raiders had they not been out drinking the night before.
Yep.
Well, look at it this way, Tony. The one thing the Redskins can say as a franchise in that 80s into the 90s, those team of the 80s, team of the 90s debates, right? San Francisco always wins out, right? You know, San Francisco always gets the nod. Here's the difference. When the Bears were great, they never beat the Redskins to get to a Super Bowl. When the 49ers were great and the Redskins were great, the 49ers never beat the Redskins to get to a Super Bowl. Couldn't do it. Right? That's one of the things that you can say as a Washington fan. Hey, listen, it's one thing for the Bears to be great or for the 49ers to be great, but they never beat us. Right? The year after the Bears won their Super Bowl was at 85. That would have been 86. They were playing against the Redskins. That was when the Redskins took them out of the playoffs at Soldier Field. Huh?
They took them out 2 years in a row. They beat them in the 86 game, and then they beat them in the famous 87 game, Walter Payton on the side like this. That was the game when Darrell Green jumped over and tore his ribs up.
Yep.
That was Walter Payton's last game.
Chicago fans hate Darrell Green for that. They was like, God dang it. Man, he went up that sideline. I said, oh, he gone. He gone, buddy. That's it. That was great.
So
that was a great game. It was cold and windy that day. Oh, man. Darrell had the hand warmers. You know, them hand warmers that go around your waist. Darrell Green had those on. I'm like, oh, man, they going to let Darrell Green return this punt?
They used to wear the scuba diving gloves back then.
Yeah,
that's
right.
Kind of the big black scuba diving gloves. That's what they used to wear back then. Yep. Now all of a sudden everybody wear the nice little pretty gloves, but they wore the scuba diving gloves.
These guys today, the technology they have, cold technology, is so much better than it was back in the day, right? Them snow games and all that. If your feet be wet. You know, the inside of your shoes are wet. Man, forget that. It's hard to play like that, by the way. Once your feet and your hands get wet.
It's really hard.
It's really difficult to play.
Keep your hands right around your cup area.
Yeah.
Tucked in there, keep them warm.
You might try to put your hands. Yeah, you be man, hey Tony, them big poncho jackets. The cold for cold weather, they got those when you were in college, right? Are those warm or are those just there?
They stopped that wind from hitting you because of the way they made. But you ain't looking for warmth in there. You looking for that wind to stop getting into you. So, I mean, they're okay.
What makes it cold anyway is the wind. That's really what makes it cold.
Well, listen, you playing at Soldier Field, you are going to get the wind on you.
Yeah.
It's cold.
Yeah, man. When you see Darrell Green in them, I mean, man, I miss those games because they had Madden and Summerall calling those games. Man,
right.
There's nothing like that, man. If you want to see something, go to YouTube, go pull up those games, and go pull up the introduction and how they introduce and everything. And man, Madden and Summerall, there will never be nothing like that. I don't care what you do.
Hey, listen, some of those games in Soldier Field, remember the fall game with the Eagles? Yeah. Man, I don't even know what I was watching, Tony. You were literally just watching fog, right? That was a great game too, man. I felt bad for the Eagles on that one. I felt bad for the Eagles. That would have been a good.
That is what made football, and the reason why people love it now. I mean, when you think about stuff like that.
I gotta sign off.
Oh, you gotta sign off?
Yeah, you guys can hang out and keep going, but I gotta roll. Always a pleasure talking to you.
Appreciate it, Cody.
You got our picks. We'll talk about the thing.
Yep.
The biggest player today. The biggest player today is the over in the last game, in the big game.
Right.
Yeah.
The Cincinnati, Kansas City game.
Cincinnati, Kansas City.
If you got one bet to make the over in that game.
Yep.
I can almost guarantee you that's going to hit the over. All right, here with TK on the TD report. Thanks, Cody. Appreciate you, buddy. So, Tony, we got to get ready for this game, man. And what should I be looking for in that Rams game? How do the Rams win that game?
What we got to do is just keep doing what they've been doing on defense. Rams have actually been playing pretty good defense in the playoffs. They dominated. Sure. They dominated a team who beat the crap out of them earlier. They dominated Kyler Murray and them. So if they can handle Kyler Murray, they damn sure can handle Jimmy G.
Okay.
They gotta make sure that they don't allow this team to be more physical than them and run the ball up and down the field, because they want their offense back to get these points up.
Okay.
I don't think this game is going to be close.
Wow.
The NFL, we all was spoiled by last weekend. So everybody's going to tune in this weekend to think you can get higher than what we got last week. You can't get 4 walk-off games.
Nah.
You can't get 2 walk-off games. That's not going to happen.
That'll never happen again.
Law averages, man. I mean, I think it could be 2 bad games this weekend.
The two bad championship games. Do you think? What's the best Super Bowl matchup we can get?
Kansas City.
And you would like to see them maybe run back what you saw in 2018.
It would be beautiful.
That'd be incredible.
It's a beautiful game. They'll break all the scoring records. They'll break the Super Bowl scoring record, whatever it is. I tend to think is the Super Bowl scoring record, is it Dallas, Pittsburgh, or?
We have to look that one up, Tony. I'm surprised you don't know. Well, don't forget, there's a couple of Super Bowls where San Francisco, like when San Francisco blew up San Diego, they beat up the Rams one year, and they put up like 50. So
52-17. How many points is that?
69.
Dallas versus Buffalo, I think, is the highest.
The first Dallas Buffalo.
I think, because when San Francisco scored 55 was the record. What did San Diego have?
I want to say they must have scored like 7. No, 17. It was like 17 points.
If that's the case, it might be San Francisco versus San Diego.
Yeah, but I don't ever remember an AFC team banging out the NFC team 52-17. I mean, there've been some blowouts, but nothing like. Well, wait a minute. The one year that the Raiders beat the Buccaneers beat the Raiders. They beat the brakes off the Raiders.
They were like 40-something to 20-something.
Yeah, Raiders.
Those are the highest scoring ones.
Easily.
I think
or Washington. What was Washington, Denver? It's like 42-7, 42-17.
That was like 42-10.
42-10, something like that. That's close. But the NFC teams put some numbers on the AFC quite a few times.
Pause on them. Mm-hmm.
You say put the pause on them, T.
They've been putting pause on because Dallas should have had 50. Dallas should have had 59 if it wasn't for Leon Lett.
Hey, man, let's leave Leon Lett alone, man. Isn't he a coach now? I think he's a D-line coach.
Leon let me down.
We ain't mad at Leon, man. It's all good.
Man, they got the Dallas fans talking about, man, I want to make all the current Cowboys my pallbearers so they can let me down one more time.
You funny.
Stop laughing.
You know what? At least Dallas had some good news this week. My sources tell me that Dan Quinn will be back as defensive coordinator next year. The only problem is I don't see anybody hiring Kellen Moore, bruh. So y'all don't have the same thing unless Kellen changes his tune, man.
Hey, fans, leave them Cowboys alone. Let them go out with their families around here because y'all harassing them fools. It was dude talking about he changing his will, talking about he want Dallas Cowboys in his will to be pallbearers so they can let me down one more time.
It's terrible. Hey, Tony.
I couldn't stop laughing, man, with that joint.
I gotta sign off, man. I gotta get food on the table, man. I made my kid wait a little bit to get this show off, man. But we'll talk. And we'll all be watching them championship games, so we'll be on the text line. Hey,
May
everybody.
go up the live. We may go up the live on Sunday to go watch the
Yeah.
game.
Hey, man, appreciate everyone for watching us. Thanks, Keith, and everybody else that supports us here at the TD Report. I'm your host, David Combs, with Tony Kennedy.
TD Report, baby.
TD Report.
Go
Hey,
Joe Burrow. LA Rams. That was my Super Bowl pick.
Okay.
I'm still alive.
We'll let them. You're still alive, buddy.
I'm still alive. The Rams.
All right, guys. Thanks a lot, Tony. Great show, bud.
All right, bro.